thy kingdom come. Let the spirit of the Holy One pass over. Let your peace cover the earth.
A new season of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening starts now. This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio. Find your inner doll. They offer quick weaves, sew-ins, and much, much more to fit every occasion. Need a wig? Selena's got you. She will customize a unit just for you. Book your next appointment on Booksy today. Did someone say nails? Honey, forget the Bayhive. Contact Queen Bee herself. She offers customized designer nails and even designer press-ons that she will customize and ship to you. Braids, and even twists. Book with Tiffany right on Facebook. Find your inner doll at Dollhouse Tampa Salon and Studio. Tampa. This week's episode is sponsored by Hustle and Bling. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that bling. Lovely paparazzi designer pieces for only $5. That's right, $5. And don't worry about it if the kid gets in the jewelry box. They're only $5. Make sure you catch Allison Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays live on Instagram and Facebook, promoting some of these wonderful fashion fixes that you'll enjoy. And if you miss it, check out the website. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. Hustle and Bling.
Say goodbye. I'll take you to the park. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, hot dog. There we go. There we go.
Right along with Vanessa Morning Show streams Fridays, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay in love. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.
This is thy kingdom come. Let the spirit of the Holy One pass over. Let your peace cover the earth. Lord, let your will be done. This is the time to take a stand, to let the world know that you can. You can face tomorrow, but today is the day that you say, I will reign. I will reign.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I'm Michelle. I am your motivator and your evolutionist. Namaste. About to the divine present, power, plan, purpose, all that in you.
All that in you.
Get it.
We just kicked off the season and just been knocking it out. So, how was your week, co-host?
It was good. The week was good. I'm seeing only the good in everything that's coming. So when you ask me that, I won't have anything other than saying it's good. Because if God is working all things out for our good, then everything is happening. It may not feel good, smell good, taste good, even look good, but it's going to work for our good.
It always does. When you
It
have that,
does. And we worry for nothing. We stress out for nothing. We get upset for nothing. If you look back over your life, 99.99999 times, it has always worked out. But we're so conditioned to look at what didn't work out according to how we see it in the third dimension rather than how it's supposed to be seen. Then we take that little one tiny percentage and just count everything else out. So after you go through a thing after thing after thing, you get it.
you get it, and then you realize, you know what? Yep. And, and that's why, I started saying I've got good problems. If you
Yeah,
got good problems, you always have a solution. So
right.
I got good problems. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's
And
the
even
truth.
when he says that, I see it so much spiritual. When you look at things in the spirit, you see them in the spirit. But when you look at things in the flesh, you're going to see what you see with the physical eyes that are not sure eyes. They are just imagination of what's going
Yeah.
on. So when
Yeah.
he says that, I get that now in such a whole different dimension of walking this life or in this destiny, that what we're physically seeing is just absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And I'm just, people who can call me delusional or whatever, I'm going to be delusional because I just refuse to believe that if God is love, that we would be placed here permanently. I just,
Yeah, in this imperfection. Yeah,
yeah.
because God is so perfected. And to even as a mother, and even though you haven't been a mother, I'm still think you can identify with this. But even as a mother, my duty, or I feel like my duty, is to bring my kids the best possible. Um, Being a good mother now, everybody may not be a good mother, but being a good mother, you want to bring the best possible for your children. There will be a never time that I would just bring something evil and dark to my kids and say, here, this is how you're going to live. Um,
Mhm.
but as I was coming here tonight, me and my kids had gone out to eat, and they were saying that the life that we lived, their friends wouldn't be able to handle it. And they began to name some of their friends because they couldn't handle being in a hotel because they're so spoiled by being. And there's nothing wrong with having homes and houses, but that's the condition that they're under. And if they had to come in this condition, so I'm kind of glad that my kids have gone from the worst to the better and the better to the worst. That
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
this is just a life. This is all just an experience. And
Right.
I was sharing that on Fridays right on. I said, look, parents, yeah, the best legacy and everything you could ever give your children is to getting them to have an established relationship with God and a sense of
Right.
identity, and also in knowing that this place is not our home, because this world will have you caught up in thinking, if I'm not by have certain things by this age, you know allowing the external to define you, and it can really mess you up.
Hmm.
But if you totally change the way you look at things
Yeah.
by realizing, you know what, I'm on assignment, because I would never exist in a world like this where we're
Right.
killing each other and hurting.
Or
I would.
choose
So
to.
just imagine God.
Yeah. I mean, the choices that we make have been influenced by outside interference. And so
Hmm.
once we awaken and come to ourselves and see the glory that has been prepared for us, even in this life, we're so busy getting ready to go to heaven, we're not even enjoying the trip. And by saying we're not enjoying being the kingdom here and bringing heaven to this kingdom, rather than us always focusing on going to a heavenly kingdom or another geographical place, let's just finish this assignment first and
Right.
learn how to be a heavenly being, because he says he's left us all spiritual things. In the inheritance, we in our birthrights, we've gotten our spiritual things, but we've been strayed away to physical things. So
Exactly. And distracted from physical things, things that don't matter, really.
right. And they're going to pass away. So I was telling a friend she lost, well, her brother passed away. I ain't gonna say she lost him. I don't like to
Mhm.
say that, but her brother passed away to another assignment. And I was talking to her and I was saying, this has come to pass. And I could say that because the same thing happened. You know, my brother elevated to another space other than this one. So I get the loss that you feel physically, but then when you get to the spiritual thing, saying this too shall pass, everything has just come to pass. It has not come to stay. And we start treating things like they're permanent. They're not permanent. They have just come to pass. And so when you get in that mindset, then whatever happens, you know it's temporary, it's going to pass eventually.
And that's why you have, and we're commanded to speak well, bless those.
Yeah.
Bless those, speak well of those, because if you continually speak well of other folks, I believe you are sending grace with them wherever they
Yeah.
evolve to,
Right.
wherever. But if you continually speak ill of people and all that, I really believe you speak curses, they'll have to carry, they will inherit that energy of ill will and speaking horrible of people. And you're helping to construct their future timeline that they have to experience
Excuse me.
once they transition and pass on from this one. I believe that.
Right. And then you have to look at too that whatever you're sowing, you're going to reap. So
Right.
you want to experience seeds. This week, God began to tell me that you're seated and you're seated. SEATED and SEEDED. You're
Mhm.
seated in a heavenly place, in a spiritual place, in a place of dominion, in a place of power. And you're seated there, meaning you're planted. And once you're planted, you're going to expose yourself to other people and other things in your growth and in their growth. And so as you look at that, you begin to say, I'm sitting on the throne and I'm seated in heavenly things. That means I'm blooming. I'm experiencing and I'm giving out all these things, not just to me first, but then to others. So we have to bless people. And that just brings me to a place today. First, let me say Happy Father's Day. I'm sorry.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And let me say happy fathers, because there are some fathers that are really being fathers. And,
Right.
and and that's a blessing. We always talk about the ones that are not, but there are multiple ones that are being fathers. So as I was sending out some greetings today, I recognized that a lot of people were putting up their fathers who had passed on. And I've never done that. And that was for the simple reason that I had some issues with my dad. And so God just came and I heard his voice. He just says, let it go. And I really
Mhm.
didn't realize I had not let it go, because this week I was saying, God, help me to remove all blocks, any blocks that are blocking me from where I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to be giving off your glory. Well, he brought that to me. So at that time, I got a picture of my dad and I put a post up and I began to say, that I didn't recognize I hadn't forgiven him. So that,
Right.
oh my God. And so I was like, wow, God, I had just pushed it under the rug and just passed by it and just never came to that point. And then I released that today. So that was a block. I don't know if that's a block from where I'm supposed to be next, but I've
It
got to get rid of all blocks.
was.
I have to get rid of all blocks.
It
And
was. That's right. Oh my God.
I had
I
to
just,
let it go. And I
I,
also did one other one. I had
oh,
to forgive my ex-husband. I had to do
oh,
that too. There were I I had never put up a post
Ding,
saying
ding.
Happy Father's Day to my kid's father. I did that today. So today was a release of some
Oh my
blockages. So I'm
gosh.
telling everybody, search your heart and make sure there's nothing there.
Oh,
Don't say, God, if there's anything, there's always something. Check your heart and see. See, I just got released and I don't know what's in the next for me because I unstopped my heart today
you
from
understand your heart today.
anything.
Yes, you did. I'm a living witness. I'm a
Ah,
living witness. As soon as you start forgiving and putting closure and letting things go,
mm,
wow, get
mm, mm,
ready for
mm,
the
mm, mm,
abundance of
mm, mm.
overflow.
So I mean,
Rush to your
it's
aid.
more important to me to get closer to the presence of God than to
Mhm.
hold something of somebody's past that ain't nothing they can do about, and there's nothing I can do about, but move forward. So I feel like 100 pounds lighter.
That's
Didn't
oh,
know I was heavy
amazing.
with that, but
And
hearing
and
the
the good
voice
thing
of
about
God,
it is this is what makes the walk so amazing,
yes,
so
yes,
personal. That's why I
yes,
say you work out your own salvation. Because as you're walking in revelation, you're going to arrive in these spaces and places where where can only come from God. You
right,
and this You'll have the right support system around, the right
hmm,
support people. I can't tell you certain things that you have to experience because I
right,
don't know.
right,
But as soon as you say something like this, then it'll resonate with me because it's
hmm,
like, you know what? I had to do the same thing. I had to
right,
had those closure sessions, ceremonies, had to write those letters. I had to burn them out on the
hmm,
beach and totally let go. But it's the most amazing thing that you can
yes,
do on your spiritual walk because it's going to free you from these ties that bind you. It's going to
yes.
free you. And
And
when
they're
it
so
does,
subtle. They're so subtle and they're so hidden. It's not something that's right in front of your face every day. And so that's how you can kind of miss it. But when you ask God to show you, when you ask God to tell you, to explain to you, and you hear that first voice, I had to move immediately
good.
because
That's
I knew
good.
what I'd asked for this week. Unblock me. I don't want any blocks. And I heard that voice so clear. And I was like, wow, that was why. I had no problem doing it because I know the connection with God was more greater than what any kind of pride or ego was. So yeah, I
You
did it.
are, yeah. So now that that's happened, get ready for the inspiration to come
Hmm.
so that you will know what type of inspired action to take. Now,
Exactly.
I'm just, you know, you know, all I'm going to say to you is that if you feel inspired, do it. That's all I'm going to say.
Say that
Okay.
again.
If you feel inspired,
Do.
do it.
Okay.
Don't question.
Yeah, and
Just
I didn't at that time. I didn't think about what people would say. I didn't think about how I felt. I just knew that I have a strong desire to get closer and closer to God. I don't know how much closer I can get because God's in me, but whatever it is, I want to be there because I have things that I must do, not things I want to do, things that I must do that God has chosen me and has put me here for this place. And I cannot do that if there are blocks. I cannot help people. I cannot inspire, motivate, spiritual evolutionize. I can't do any of that until I am spotless, until I'm clean. To me, I'm perfect now because I've removed that. And it caused me to examine even deeper if there's anything of anybody else. I couldn't think of nobody else. But if anybody else comes, I'm saying I'm sorry, I apologize, whatever it takes.
mhm. With prayer and supplication, make your requests known. Be
Hmm.
anxious for nothing. And just continue on with that drive and determination. However, the sense of urgency may get where you get into this space of being anxious. I'm only speaking from experience.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there's so much going on here in this little world that I'm set up
Hmm.
that I must remain calm at all times. And
Yes, yes. That's the key. That's that meditative mode that you stay in.
because let me tell you something, okay? It's so easy to trip up,
Yes,
get lost,
yes,
and what about this and what about that?
yes,
And then
yes.
you know, I'm delusional, right? And that's where I'm gonna stay. I'm delusional. I'll be like, well, you know what? It's a game anyway, so it don't matter. You know, I just go at it like that. I'm like,
Right.
well, it's only a simulation, and you know, this is my experience. And if I'm on
Hmm.
assignment, then I must not be. I will refuse to be concerned about this and that and whatnot. I,
Yeah,
I just started coming at it because I'm like, you know what? You do what you do, and you keep on, and you keep
you
serving.
have to. You have to. And that
That
keeps
approach,
your intentions, your focus. It
pure.
keeps you in that place, in that space, on that realm of where God has designed you to be, where we were supposed to be before any of this ever occurred. And when you get that feeling, there's nothing like that super divine a visitation. That
That's right.
was a visitation for me this morning. And
Awesome,
yes,
awesome,
it's
awesome.
right in the spirit of this season that we're talking about. And God has given me back to back divine visitations that are taking me higher and higher and deeper and deeper. So I encourage the listeners that this is very serious and it's very powerful. And once you have it, you already have it. You just don't know you have it, or you just not embracing it. But once you recognize that you have it and you're embracing it, you can only go higher. There's just nowhere else to go. You
Nowhere else to
can't
go
go
but
nowhere
up,
else
baby.
but up. So
Nowhere else to
yeah,
go but up. And great segue because you know this season we're talking about supernatural visitations,
yes,
and I just put this up here for the viewers so that they can go ahead and know what's coming. We're going to run a couple of ads, but just to kind of lead into tonight's inspiring word, you know, we're going to be highlighting John the Revelator, John from the Book of Revelations, and there was quite a few chapters that popped up. I when I researched and asked AI to find some, there were so many, and I was like, they're all good. So Michelle and I looked them over, and we are going to highlight a few chapters, not all of them, but we listed all of them here for you so that you can study those on yourself and see what kind of insight and inspiration comes to you from spirit, that comes from the revelatory spirit that landed on John when he was on the Isle of Patmos. Supernatural visitations.
and this word is bottomless.
It's bottomless.
We will never be able to tap into everything. It is bottomless. And
That's
it just, you cannot, that's what a revelation is. It has so much light on it. How much more light can you shine on light? That is what makes it bottomless. So y'all get ready, get ready, get ready. I'll steal that from TD Jakes
Yep, get
because
ready, get ready. So we're going to
yeah,
run a couple of ads, and when we come back, we're going to talk about John the Revelator. We're going to be highlighting and referencing chapters 17 through 22. But when we come back, we'll have that twirling banner with all of them. But so go grab yourself a refreshing beverage. When we come back, we'll be talking about supernatural visitations, John the Revelator. So stay tuned.
Get your copy of Mental Equation, available on Amazon and on Stay in Love TV, today's Michelleology.
Seven.
This week's episode is sponsored by Organic Sunscreen Moisturizer, Sheer Perfection Moisturizer that can only be found on PerfectionDaySpa.com. Contact Delia today.
Join me and the great Michelle Massey Washington next Sunday, June 25th, for the season finale of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. This season, we have had some amazing guests share their stories on not giving up, their courage on battling their health challenges. Some imparted amazing wisdom on mindset. Some shared with us those amazing triumphs in life situations and circumstances. And we kicked off the season with Dr. Jody Bear helping us to get our health together. Next Sunday, we wrap up the season season finale with some surprise guest appearances right here, 7 p.m. Eastern on Stay in Love TV. That's right. That's right. Next week is our season finale. Can you believe it? I mean, we zoomed through this season this time, co-host. Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
because time is no more.
That's right. It's no more. It really
It's
is.
not. It's like people don't even know what day it is now. They're like, today Thursday, Friday.
I
Time
have
is
to
no
check.
more.
I have to check. I mean, I really do, because I'm on another. I'm just like, I'm not
Yeah.
this world. I'm functioning, right? I'm
Right.
in it. I'm not of it. I'm serious. I'm just
Right.
like, mm-mm.
And it's such a different feeling. I
It
don't
is.
I
It's a,
don't even know. It's a
it's a
energy
true
is what it is.
liberated feeling, because you finally get it, right? And you're not that
Right.
fear and worry and angst that is so 3D and so lower vibration and so, who of this world, that once you understand all that, you don't get caught up in all that. No.
What's that scripture? Be not entangled in this world's
These yokes
antics.
not entangled in the ways of this world and stuff. And I get it now. And because as we we gonna get to the talk. But when we was going into church, they were like, be in the world but not of it. And they really thought literally you had to like not be,
Right.
no. I get it now. I get it now. It's not about what you dress or what you say or what you it's your perspective, honey. It's your perspective on this. And now don't get me wrong, with you will know how to dress and know how to be if
Oh,
you
yeah.
are operating on the love frequency. So
Yeah, that first voice is gonna talk to you about it anyway.
and you will never ever feel alone.
You'll never feel comfortable in what you're wearing if that's not what you're supposed to be wearing.
Right. True. It's true. I
You
bought
won't.
shoes and clothes and everything.
Yeah, you'll be.
And I put them on. I'd be like, you had me get this for somebody else, didn't you? Because it just wouldn't feel right. And I had
Right. And I just, it's just everything. God's
Yep.
concerned. People say God's not concerned about some stuff, but God to me is concerned about everything that concerns me. So it's like all you have to do is listen. It's so simple, you can miss it.
You have to have a good perspective, because I'm like, I'm an actress, I'm playing a part. So if I'm not wearing the right clothes, or if I'm not on, I wait
You're
for
out of character.
I mean, like, I really get in that flow, not delusional point but I'm into the point where I'm being sensitive
Yeah.
to spirit's guidance, because I want to make sure that I'm just like that.
Right. On your journey, if you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, you're not going to do things that's going to distract who you're assigned to, because you're assigned to people on a daily basis. And what you're trying to do is attract them to you so that you can give them the prophetic message that's going to change their whole life. But when you're wearing something that's out of focus, then you're out of focus. And then it just discombobulates the whole situation. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And that's where confusion comes. And we know who the author of that is.
Mhm.
So tonight, though, supernatural visitations and John the Revelator. And I've got the scriptures that we're highlighting tonight, and I put them here. We take that down so we can look at that. But Revelation 17, 18, and 19, I put 19 in there too, but Revelation 17, 18, 20, and 21 and 22, and 17 and 18. I pulled this from the Message translation.
Mhm.
And the heading was Great Babylon, Mother of Whores, for Revelation 17. And I'm going to read verse 3-6, really, to speak to that one. Yeah. In the spirit, he carried me out in the desert. I saw a woman mounted on a scarlet beast, stuffed with blasphemies. The beast had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet, festooned with gold and gems and pearls. She held a gold chalice in her hand, brimming with defiling obscenities, her foul fornications. A riddle name was branded on her forehead: Great Babylon, mother of whores and the abominations of the earth. I can see that the woman was drunk on the blood of God's holy people, drunk on the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. Great Babylon, mother of whores.
What you got?
Okay, all right. Well, my revelation from this is that this is the church.
Okay.
It's the church. It's the great church of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason why it makes sense to me in my logic is, how could you persuade and influence a mass to where a desire is fulfilled? Because the goal of the angel of light
Mm-hmm.
was to be worshiped and adored.
Isn't that something that he was called a light also?
Yeah, an angel of light.
Hmm.
Yeah. So to me, the way I'm interpreting this is the fall of Great Babylon, the mother of whores, right? So that means you got a madam. So who would be the madam of the whores? And then you got whores, and then you got prostitutes. So there's a level to everything. I didn't know that till I read the Bible. I'm like, man. So you got madams, you got
So
whores.
explain to us what the whore is and what
What?
the
Okay.
prostitute.
The mother of whores, right? It's the one that started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Influenced and trained and influenced other whores to give birth to them. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, if I'm a mother and I have a child, I give birth to a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a woman, so I gave birth to, say, a daughter to another woman, just to make it simple, right? So the mother of whores is the main one that started it all, and it gave birth and influenced them to take in to this type of abomination to God.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it just makes sense to me, because they started killing them in the book of Acts. They started, killing them and persecuting them and all of that, because they were Christians and everything, and they went against Rome. So how could something so popular and stuff and so influential, I mean, it's the biggest con game I've ever seen, because if you're not awake, you're still drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, it's basically that when you're talking about the mother is the place of birth, is the place of nourishment, is the place of teaching, is the place of leading and guiding to all the things that we, as if you're looking at it as a child, all equipping us with everything that we need in order to be able to walk on our own. And so when you're talking about this mother, the mother was the church, or was supposed to be, because that was supposed to be the bride. So that was to bring forth all of these babies, but they were supposed to be under some type of instruction that would lead them to birth some more babies that were carried on. But somewhere somebody dropped the ball. Somebody became lazy. Somebody didn't study to show themselves approved. Somebody was teaching for their own glory, and it got out of hand, which is what has happened to this whole situation that we're walking. It's not that we're not equipped with the information. It's that we've decided to go on our ego, which is edging God out and doing as Satan said, I will be like the Most High. And I brought it out that he was seen as a light. But one thing people don't get, his light never went out. It just dimmed. So his light, although the evil stuff, his light never went out. It just dimmed, because it said he fell like lightning, which is light. But it never says anything about he was no longer considered light. There are different types of light, but we're trying to get the frequency of the highest light, and then the lowest frequency is the lowest light. So the church has become a place the building, when I say church, it's the building has become a dimmer light than it's supposed to be to teaching all these people. Now you have whores and you have prostitutes, which means they're going out and doing other things outside of this marriage to God. They're going out and they're doing other things and they're prostituting their gifts. And it's a whole lot of confusion. So in this scripture where we're talking about Revelation, it's amazing that the end of the Bible as we know it ends in Revelation, and that means it should begin in light. But we've also had a lot of things that were going left that should have been right, because we do have a free will and a choice to make whether we're going to go to the right or to the left. So this is a revelation to the church at large, that we
It
have to
is.
be reformed from this prostitution and from this
Brain.
whoring.
But I'm serious. Well, it can be disheartening because cognitive dissonance will set in if you just refuse to believe that
Right.
possibility. But if you, it's said to study. It also said that I pray that your eyes be enlightened so that you can see. And if you really just look at it and follow the money,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be able to see it. Because if you and I don't want to harp on this too much, but I just encourage everyone to just really seek for enlightenment on this, because once you do, you'll be liberated and set free. You will be finally existing in this place of love that Christ was trying to show us what was possible in this human form. We can have peace continually. We can have joy. We can have protection. We can master this world with the
Mm-hmm.
things of this world by disengaging ourselves from it, by not becoming attached to it all. And it's possible.
Right. It is
It can be
possible.
lonely.
Um, and
We've been
because,
lonely.
yeah, because some of the things that we believed were just people's opinion.
Mhm.
They were not actually the truth. It was their truth. And
Right.
so when God told us to study to show yourself, he means show you um, the right direction. Because if you know the right direction, then you can't follow all these other voices that are calling you or attracting you to them. And I think that's what he meant by prostitute. We following all these voices that are outside of the main voice. So
And we're getting in bed with the highest payer.
yeah. And it doesn't have to be physical money. It can just be, you may be attracted to somebody and you just, you get on that board with them because you're feeling something else. And we've got to straighten that out in order that we can finish this race up. We're going to win. We've already won,
Yeah.
but you want to finish this race up with the greatest light that you've ever seen before. And God is just attracting us back to that. And that's why Revelation is ended. The New Testament ended in Revelation, and now Testament should be beginning in Revelation and in the middle of Revelation and ending in Revelation. It should be a total wipeout of Revelation in this Now Testament.
Right. Agreed. Well, so we encourage you all to, take deep dives into the scriptures for Revelation. I just love it. So I love diving into it and piecing it together like a puzzle. But that's just my investigative mindset. I enjoy that type of research. All right. So next is Revelation 19. Where am I here? 7 to 18, Revelation 20. The binding of Satan and the 1,000-year reign of Christ.
Now, this is where the most exciting things ever happened to us in the Bible ever. Not outside of the resurrection, but all that. But this is the most exciting time because we are now in the awakening. And the awakening is the revelational light of us being the kingdom of God and walking in that. On this earth, we are bringing heaven down to earth. because earth doesn't need to go to heaven. We're bringing heaven down to earth so that it becomes a balance. And so in Revelations 20, let's go to that. Um, it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit
Mm-hmm.
and a great chain in his hand. And he said, hold on the dragon, that the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and
Mm-hmm.
cast him into the bottomless pit, shut him up, set the seal upon him, and he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. It says a little season. Um, so when we're looking at this, we are right there right now.
I believe
We're,
that.
we are actually present in Revelations 20. Everything in the awakening is reversing what was turned around the first time. So we're reversing, we're repenting, we're returning back to our original state before we enter into this flesh. And as we return back to our original state, this is binding up everything that Satan, the devil, the serpent, whatever, the demons, whatever you want to call them. Once you reverse to the awakening and you know, there is no way any kind of devil can stop you. So this binding is your spiritual knowledge being awakened and seeing it for its what it is and embracing it. 1,000 years is like a day to the Lord, and a day to the Lord is like 1,000 years. It's not a measurement of time. This is a parable. God spoke in parables until you are able to understand it in a spiritual manner. So we're at that time. We're
Mm-hmm.
the binding of it. You're not going to have to be worried about evilness because of
Nope.
what you know. As walking in the kingdom of God, you're going to know your powers. You're going to operate in your powers. So nothing. Now I get the scripture now. Nothing by any means shall destroy you,
Nothing.
because you're a kingdom principle walker, walking in the kingdom with all your guards with you, grace and mercy following you, the Holy Spirit in you, guiding you, not saying anything that the Spirit has not heard from God. So your connection is powerful. So I'm excited about this scripture. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, I'm excited about it because I see it. And I don't see it with these, I see it inside. That we're there. We made it. We made it to that point. And so
Mm-hmm.
you have to allow yourself to believe. It's about your belief system. If you don't believe this, then you'll think this is coming way down the road and it's going to happen a different way. And it's going to happen just like it's written here, word for word. God moves in energy, not words. So these words are just an expression for this side. But if you look at the energy behind these words, then you will understand that is greater than what's written. And I don't know what else to tell you on this. If you don't wake up, then you'll continue to look for normal. There is no normal. I'm not normal. I'm anointed. So
Right.
it's the difference in that. So you can add your little whatever,
Well,
whatever onto that.
look at the I'm linear, and I see thing I'm linear, but Revelation 20. Now these were headers that I pulled from the Message translation.
Hmm.
Binding of Satan, 1,000 year Christ reign, and then 21 and 22, new heaven and new earth. So the way I see it is, you will not be able to have a new perspective and be able to see the new heaven and new earth that is for you until you bind up those opposing thought forces that are hindering and blocking you from the revelation that you need in order to create that world so that you can exist in the one that Christ talked about and the one that was disclosed to John on the Isle of Patmos. That's how I
Right.
see that.
And we like I've said before, we're all worlds. Your
And I'm
world,
not
I'm
a
a
Jew.
world.
That just came to me while you were talking. I
Hmm.
was looking at it. I was like, wow. Okay, so go
You're a
ahead.
world and I'm a world, and we all come together to make up one world. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we come, like this morning was a new heaven and a new earth for me, because it awakened spots in me that need to be clean. And if God is going to come back for a bride without a spot or a wrinkle, then you're going to have to clean up your heart. That's what it means. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Back in the Old Testament, when someone was engaged to someone, they had to wear their wedding dress every day. So that's where that came from, a spot or a wrinkle,
Mm-hmm.
because the groom went away to build a place for them to live. And they didn't know how long it was going to take for him to build that place. And so
So
every
share the way.
morning, yeah, every morning they got up and put on their wedding dress, because they did not want to be prepared when the groom came. So they had to make sure that they didn't get any spots or they didn't have any wrinkles. But they were persistent in waiting for their groom to come. So it didn't bother them to dress up. Just think about a wedding dress. Every day you get up and put on that wedding dress. It's white, it's big, it's frilly, and you just got to make sure you don't get anything on it, because you're waiting for your groom. So your cleaning up of your heart is your new heaven and your new earth, because you'll begin to see things differently, and you'll begin to see them spiritually instead of all physical. That's why he said, seek the king. The bride was always seeking her king to come from that prepared place. So it's up to us to prepare ourselves for what's coming. Vanessa can't prepare you. Michelle can't prepare you. Your pastor can't prepare you. This preparation is through your studying, through your meditation, and through your visitation supernaturally when God reveals something to you.
And not allowing fear or intimidation to keep you from
Yeah.
receiving the information that is for you specifically. We're not here to try to persuade you. This is how Spirit has revealed things to us. And
Mm-hmm.
I just believe in my heart of hearts that what we're sharing with you is going to reach the right people at the right time, because there is no time.
Yeah.
And it's going to resonate with those who, where, when, and where it needs to resonate with, because I have the motive of, we got to save. No, I don't want to save you. I just want to enlighten you to a better way, so that maybe you can only see it from your point of view, so that Spirit can bring the revelation
Mm-hmm.
to you specifically. You
Right.
know,
And we're
I'm
not here to save. Christ already did that. We're
God
just
said,
here to we're
God
just here to
did,
point
God,
you. We're just
no.
here to point you back to the true you. And that's what's going to save you. When you recognize who you really are, it's not that image that's in the mirror, it's that image that you were created in and with that power. And so you have to allow yourself, all through Genesis, God said, let. You have to let yourself
Yeah, right.
be in this space. He is, if we can say he, a perfect gentleman, will not go against what you will to be. So let, allow. A long time he said to me, my children don't know how to receive. And so I'm saying, what do you mean, God? They don't know how to receive the promises. They don't know how to receive the gifts. They don't know how to receive me, most of all. I am a gift to them, and they don't know how to receive it. So in this revelation, in these supernatural visitations, they are not just in the Bible. They are presently happening on a day-to-day basis with you, but you're just not paying attention to what is being said, because you're so distracted by time. I got to be at work at this time. I got to do this at this time, and I'm going here at this time. And you're so distracted with watching the clock to see what time it is, that you're missing the in between of what God is doing. He said to me one time, you get paid. I was excited about the 15th and the 30th, because those were the days, those were the days that I got paid. And one day he said to me, just because you're only looking to get something on the 15th and 30th, that is when you will get it. Can I not bless you before the 15th? Can I not bless you after the 15th and before the 30th? So we got to let God. That's what I mean. You got to let him. He
You have to
wants to
let him.
bless you.
And see, here's the thing: when you are in a meditative state, we gonna coin that one. Cause when you are in a meditative state, you're in a relaxed state, and
Yes.
when you are in a relaxed state, you're more
Yes.
able to allow whatever needs to
Yes. Flow.
come
It's a flow.
inside, so that you can give birth.
It's a
That
flow.
spirit can't impregnate you if you're all rigid
If
and
you
uptight
all moving around and fighting and
and
just not
resistant.
still,
But
not
when
in
you are
position.
relaxed,
Yes. Yes. That meditative state means allow yourself to go with the flow
that
of
means
energy, the flow of
birth.
frequency, and the flow of the vibration. Because
Mhm.
that's what God is. And that's not to belittle him. He is a power. He's a flow. And
Mhm.
so we've got to get in the flow so that
Mhm.
we can have continuous supernatural visitation, being constant, a constant meditative mode in a standstill and clear head, because your head is full of 60, 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are negative. You
Right.
got to cohere first, because that's where God is.
You
And
need
then
to.
let him straighten this up.
Yeah.
But
This
don't try to use this to straighten this up, because it's not gonna work. We've been
use
doing stuff in reverse. We gotta go back to the way. The
right.
first shall be last and the last shall be first. We've been doing the things that should have been last first instead of doing the things that should have been first. That should have been last first. And we should be in position to know that.
Hmm.
You looking to go and get a promotion, and that's good. But if you're not getting promoted in the spirit, that's just another experience in this third dimensional realm that you're going through. Man, I don't care if they never promote me anywhere where I am. I've already been promoted because this is the assignment. God said, don't worry about the money because I have you on assignment. And just this week, I've had at least three people to just bless me for no reason. Just this week, because I'm staying in my position of assignment. Just this week, I'm not telling you something somebody told me. I'm telling you something three people just this week. And so, if I stay in position, God's going to take care of everything else. That's seeking the kingdom first, seeking your assignment and letting the things come.
Speaking of seeking the kingdom, now tomorrow on today's Michelleology, because your theme for this season is the kingdom.
Yes.
And I think tomorrow you're going to be talking about, yep, when will the kingdom come? When will the kingdom come?
There are so many people looking for it to come at a later date, but it has already come. And
Mhm.
so, if we're not seeking that like right now, we're going to be looking up and looking outward, and we're going to miss some of the goodness and the greatness that God has prepared for us. So I invite you to join me. If you didn't hear the first two, wasn't it two before this? The first two, you need to go back.
Like you said, we don't know what time it is, but we do know that the season premiered on Memorial Day week.
Yeah, it's been about a couple before that,
So
but
yeah, it's been about 3 or 4. So we're
so
rocking and rolling. Yeah,
it
yeah,
brings you to
yeah,
understand
yeah.
about when will the kingdom come. Everybody's looking for a time. God doesn't operate in time. He
Uh-uh.
operates in space. So that's why I said no one knows the
Kingdom
time or
comes
the
when
place.
you, yeah,
Yeah.
I think the kingdom comes when you are aware, when
Yes.
you have that sense of
Right
awareness,
now.
because
Like right now. You
and that's why you are adamant, and by sharing with people, if you go within, you will never be
never
without. So
be
if you
without.
go within, you'll find all that, everything that you need.
Yes.
Seek and you shall find me. You need to go seek here. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's all in you. That's the thing about the kingdom coming, is knowing. that all power is in within you. And wherever you go, the kingdom has come. And so
Yeah.
it's very exciting that you listen to that and begin to get a revelation on your kingdom coming, because it's personal. It's in a group, but it has to be personal first. Like God says, you have to love yourself first before you can
Hmm.
love anybody else. So I'm excited about this kingdom thing because this is everything I've ever gone through to get to this point, to know about my kingdom. Today was another experience that opened up something about the kingdom. So I want to lead you back to you, not teach you anything, not convince you of anything, but point you right back to you. And that's what the kingdom of God does.
Hmm. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Excited.
Wow.
Excited.
Well, I'm gonna have my warm beverage. I've been trying different things, in the morning and everything. Green tea. I got me
Hmm.
some mud water. I wanted to try that, see what that was
Hmm.
all about. And I got a little coffee there and there, but I'm doing things differently now. But I will most definitely be ready to enjoy tomorrow's
7
episode.
a.m. Let's get up.
7
Let's get up.
a.m.
Let's get
Eastern.
up.
I will be up and at it to enjoy When Will the Kingdom Come? And then next week we've got the season finale. We've got some great things. We're lining up some surprise guests, and some of the
Mhm.
guests have already agreed to hop on and join us. So it's gonna be a good time. I'm thinking it's gonna be the 90-minute special like we did before, co-host. So
Okay.
give time for the guests to share and everything. And but we're going to be talking about what is next week. Next week is, I think it's, the Mount of Transfiguration. That's going to be
Ooh,
interesting. Yeah. So we'll be talking
yeah.
about that next week.
It's not even what you think it is.
Mm-mm.
It's
So
so much deeper. I'm so excited about that. Um, that was exposed to me, and I was like, my God, it's, this
yeah,
revelation thing has me all through the day saying, mm. And then people will say, huh, you said something? I said, mm. I just say, mm.
because you want to scream it out and share it with everyone, and then you realize, wait a minute. I
And
need to play this part because
it's
I feel
almost,
like,
it's
yeah,
too much almost. It's too
yeah,
much. My body can't take it. It's like too much, but
because you're like, and you know what it feels like now. For me, it's like you get another point or something because you're in the game,
yeah,
right? Because you get the little lights
right.
light up or whatever, ding 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 ding.
Yes,
Ding. You're
yes,
getting
right,
dinged. You're getting dinged in a good
right,
way.
right. And it's
Yeah,
just the energy that's amping you up to where you're
letting you
supposed to
know.
be. Yeah.
Yep.
And you get out of looking at stuff and you start looking at God so much, and it's a relationship that is inseparable. I go to the bathroom, I'm talking to him, and sitting at my desk and I'm talking to him. I'm driving backwards and forth and I'm talking to. It's a consistent conversation that never ends. So when he says prayer without ceasing, to me, that's the conversation that you have with God. No matter where you are, it is a conversation that you have to have.
Commune.
Yes, that's communion. That's it. And it
That's
says,
true communion.
yeah,
This
it
is
says
the
for as
flesh is
often
in
as you
the
do this.
blood. I don't know
Yes,
where the heck that came from. The true communion.
yes. For as
Well,
often as you
you
do
know
this, do
better to
this.
do better. The
Yeah,
true communion is when you and he
commune with God.
walks with me and he talks with me.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
that way you're consuming everything that he's
Mhm.
ever done for you,
Mhm.
everything he's ever done to you, and everything
Mhm.
he's done through you. All of
Mhm.
those things happen. And we talked last week, you might not want me to say it, but it's a spiritual orgasm every time. It's a spiritual orgasm every time. It is that
I
point
get it
of
now.
excitement.
I get
Yes,
it. I get
yes,
it now because spiritually you are relaxed, you're
yes,
open.
yes,
Boom! Here comes the
yes,
revelation. You be like,
yes, yes.
you've received something from God. I get it, co-host. I get it. But I had to come in and put some anointing oil on it. Yeah, I get it now. So maybe now
Yes.
can be
And
more
it's
acceptable to,
consistent. So when
yeah.
I'm saying that means I have just hit a spot that's taking me to another revelation, that's taking me to another energy, that's taking me to the top. I am there. I am there.
I know
Listen,
what you're talking
listen.
about, though. I really do, because you could just be going, do your day,
Oh
and
God.
all of a sudden, boom, an
Boom.
answer will come. You be like, "Whoa!"
Yes. Yes.
I
The
get it.
explosion comes at that
I get
time.
it.
And
I
this
get
is
it.
the greatest thing that can never be duplicated by anything else.
Not anything else. Yep. All
It's
right,
just
ladies and
there.
gentlemen, we want to thank you so much, podcast listeners, social media world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you
Hey,
guys
Alisa
for
Carter.
restream. Hi, thank you. Hi, Lisa, my love. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us next week for the season finale. So look out for those promos. They'll be running for next week, season finale of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening.
I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m.
And
Don't
tomorrow,
miss it. Be there.
Michelle Massey Washington on today's Michelleology. But until
Mm,
next week,
mm, mm.
I'm Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
I'm Michelle Washington. I'm your motivator and your spiritual evolutionist. Namaste. About to the divine presence, power, purpose, plan in you.
Stay in love, everybody.
Bye.
Get ready for your now awakening. Today's Michelleology, Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern, only on Stay in Love TV. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.